Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. My whole point is to do whatever I can to alert us to the fact that we are actually in slavery and that the pains and suffering that we experienced during our lives, whether it's personal or with others, it's a representation of what is actually going on. And so, if we have the heart, the mind, and the spirit to understand, then these are the things that we will respond to. Now, there have been people in other walks of life who have been uh, had their eyes open and they've been giving us information. For instance, there have been some men who live today. Some perhaps have come and gone, and they shared their wisdom with us. You got Kanye West, who's constantly telling us that they got talent, they got musical talent, they produce uh, great gifts. Michael Jackson, Prince, great talent. And these guys are sold out in an industry that says they didn't know it. They were just trying to follow suit, thinking that all this fame and stuff that they had been seeing was something that was going to be theirs. But they found out when they got into it that they were just pawns. They were slaves using their skills to make money for others, to protect the future of others while doing nothing for themselves. And when they decide to protest about it, then eventually, as Kanye West says, they're killed. They're saying people like Prince was killed. They're saying people like Michael Jackson was killed for the same reason. People like Sam Cooke killed for the same reason. And Otis Redding perhaps killed for the same reason. And now you got Kanye say, hey, well, they might be trying to get at him. You got Jamie Foxx. They're trying to get at him because what's happening? These people is all about money, all about the money. And when you get this money, that's all it's about. And when you rip these artists off accordingly to the information that we're being given, they don't own any of that material. They get the scraps, and then they lose the ownership value of everything they've done, and it's in the hand of someone else who keep on making money and more money after this artists are dead. Now, this is as descriptive of slavery as you can possibly get, but it doesn't end there. You know, it reminds me of a situation. Let me see if I can bring that with some clarity. Um, you remember in the scriptures, I'm not going to try to give you the address. I'm just going to give you a little bit of the story where Adam and Eve were in the garden and they had been given instruction that all of the stuff that's in the garden were accessible to them. They eat fruit from every tree, just stay out of the one that's in the midst of the garden, the one of the knowledge of good and evil. Stay away from that. Now that right there could be interpreted by many ways. Many ways. Every way it can be interpreted, though, it ends up saying God said, don't do that. And that means don't do that. The scripture goes further to say that if you do that, you're going to die. Now, some people might say, well, what does death mean to people that never died or never seen death? I don't know. Maybe it's just a metaphor. But anyway, the story goes that that's what's happened. That's what happened. And then on a given day, it says that Adam, at least in Genesis, it does. It's Adam and Eve are there in the garden, and they say somebody might say a thought came to them. Somebody might say a snake came to them, whatever. And the woman got the idea that the fruit from that tree looked good to eat. And the tree was fruitful. And for some strange reason, somehow, some voice got there. Was that a voice in her head? Was that that little monkey on your back trying to get you to do something evil? I don't know. Was it a real snake? I don't know. Was it just something that somebody threw in there? I don't know. But what's the message? The message is saying this: you're being challenged. Mm-hmm. Yes. Temptation. Yes. And that temptation might have come from the fact that it said don't. You know when people say don't, that's when everybody is ready to. But anyway, the story goes that she ate from that fruit. Well, before this happened, tell me there was a discussion that took place either in her mind or with that snake. And it said that you heard, and the reason I wanted to bring this up is because it doesn't matter whether it was in her mind or whether there was a snake out there talking or whether there's metaphorically thinking or talking or speaking. You will not surely die. Isn't that something? Some says you will surely die, and then something says you will not surely die. You might call that an alternative truth. I thought about that when I was reading that again just for this presentation. You will not surely die. And I'm here thinking to myself, looks like I've heard that before in my lifetime. And it seems that so many of us have heard that. Alternative truth. You would not surely die. What does that mean to a person that doesn't know anything about death? So anyway, let's say you go and you fall to temptation and you bite, and all of a sudden you just got some good sweet juicy apple going down through your mouth, or whatever you did didn't do anything that caused you any regrets. So you just say, "Oh, that was cool." Maybe. But there was something that was happening, because they say as soon as this happened, something happened with them. They said their eyes were open. Wonder what it was open to. Open to evil, the act that they had just committed? Or did that weaken the truth that they had known, that they had walked? Or did together that caused confusion where they didn't know which way to go? It appears to me that from that day to this day, and I'm glad we got this time to refer to, because what has happened in the past couple of years with Donald Trump, the way I see it, the spirit that was operating with the people in the garden, the spirit is the same spirit that was in heaven when the angels were being threatened. The same spirit was right there in America with this one man could fix everything. See, that's what it's all about. Mankind can do better than God. I can fix it all. I am the smartest man. Who on the face of the earth would stand up and say they're the smartest man? Who got the genius brain? Who would do that? Who would say, even if you thought you were smart, you wouldn't do that? But anyway, this guy did. And what happened? People bought into it, just like the angels did. Adam and Eve bought into it. And as a consequence, we have all bought into it. You see, when those Trumpers, you call them, I think, minions, you call them, when they fall in line, that's establishing something beyond just the words. That is establishing a process of causing a change in the way people think and accept things. Same kinds of thing that if that was permitted to continue, and he got back in office again like the people want him to, and then he starts killing people and starts threatening people, then all of a sudden, some of us, we'll be gone. But our kids and grandkids will be coming up under the alternative truths. Everything we know today will be dying out. It won't mean a thing because we have a new alternative truths, and they will be embedded in their minds. It will be there as things that they would have to follow, make adjustments in their lives too. That's the same thing that has happened to us as human beings on the earth. When we start following the lie, you will not surely die. We have died ever since, because what this thing say, this is your punishment, this is your death. It is not necessarily going underground, but it's you slaving. Now we are in slavery, we are in enslavement. Everything that we need to survive that was given to us freely. Now the enemy deceived us in such a way, they have confiscated it all, and to control us, and it's all about control, they make money and tell us that all the stuff that we need to survive, that we make, we the people, go and use those resources and make them. And they give us a couple of dollars so we can go and buy some of the stuff that already belongs to us and get in debt for years and years trying to buy stuff that already belongs to us. And you think we're not dead when all of the stuff is yours free? All of this stuff is yours and there's no lying and cheating and stealing. There's no hatred, no racism, no bigotry, and yet we have that stuff every day and you won't even wake up. I don't care about your religion. You're in the middle of this hell. Well, I think somewhere I read over there in Psalms. Let me see if I wrote that scripture down. Psalms 118th, I believe, 17th through 24th verse. And they were talking about what happens when your eyes open. In the middle of this hell. You see truth. You see the truth. I don't care what this world means to you now. All the stuff that exists because it comes from your imagination that God has given us, introducing to us. And we could use it for the best that it could be used for, but we're using it for what we use it for. But anyway, when your eyes are open and you see what's going on, you see the people that are dead. You see life and you see the world's dead. And you start walking according to life in the middle of the graveyard. And people are saying, he's different. What he doing? He got no business doing that. You're in the wrong place, but you gotta go there. Why? In the graveyard, and you walking according to the principles of life, they see life. But the life is in God. The power that allows you to be able to walk in the middle of the graveyard. Not trying to possess no more of those things that you wanted to possess, because you know those are rewards, those are gifts that are given to the slaves to make them feel that they're okay, to make them feel that everything is all right. Those are what you call little gifts. So you don't want a gift like that. Why? Because you got the total picture that you're presenting to them. Well, that's a whole different ball game then, but that's not going along with like Trumpers, going along with Trumpers. That's not we who are born again going along with the world, just like those other folks going along with Trump. It's the same identical thing. If you're a changed person, how are we going to know it unless you show it? And how showing it means is standing for something different than what we stand for. What do we stand for? Pain and suffering and lying and cheating. What do you stand for? Peace, prosperity, freedom, and joy. That's what you stand for. But how do we know it? You're walking right in the midst of us, giving us your little complaints, talking, but doing no walking. Everybody talking, nobody doing no walking, and think things are going to change. Well, I guess I might as well stop talking and go out here and do some walking. Are you going to join with me? I'll be out there, and I'll be looking to see if you're with me. Till next time, bye-bye.